Kestrel, and just in case it does come out. So maybe a Samuel pick could be good for the side of Gankstars here, but we'll see what they decide to go with, because there's plenty of options available to them still. Obviously, you can go for a laner to try and deal with the Baron right now, but they are going to lock in that Samuel.
Yeah, good shout out on the Samuel there. That is going to be the pick here. So a decent amount of sustain on this team as well, coming out from Gankstars so far. But as you rightly said before, Baron is all about burst. Sustain doesn't do much if your health bar goes from 100 to 0 in 1 second. Arden Kestrel immediately locked in.
This is the definition of comfort picks for the side of Tempo Storm. Arden is one of Lost by Top's most well-known heroes. Like, back when he was making plays as a captain, most of them end up being on an Arden. And with, obviously, Hyde going to be getting this Kestrel in his hands again, this is looking pretty scary for Gankstars.
All right, definitely feels like a very strong composition. Obviously, as you rightly say, Hyde going to be on the Kestrel. We have Gatsby on the Baron. We've just seen in the last 2 games those 2 players go off on those 2 heroes. And now Vox going to round out the composition for Gankstars. So, I mean, the Gankstars composition, it's not like it's a bad composition, right? This is very standard, very meta composition, very strong individual picks, but not the same level of comfort picks that we're seeing out of Tempo Storm here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Baron and Kestrel pretty strong together, but very weak early game. Lyra, Samuel, very meta kind of EA composition that can put a lot of pressure in jungle and in lane. So as long as Gankstars put that early pressure and doesn't let Baron get online and don't let Kestrel do some crazy tricks with the traps, they should be fine.
All right, so it's all about Gankstars being aggressive in that early game. I feel like this is a conversation we have a lot. It's like, pick a team. This one has to be very aggressive early, and the other one, it's like, can you survive for 15 minutes? If you can, good job, you won the game.
Yeah, I don't know if Tempo Storm really has to even survive through the early game, because with a Crystal Kestrel, you know, obviously, yes, Samuel is very strong once he hits that level 2. That big power spike can rotate up to the lane. But Kestrel can rotate up too and has so much early damage with those Glimmer shots. And just a couple of Glimmer shots connecting is going to cancel out any sort of aggression.
All right, well, it's time to jump on into the 3rd game of this quarterfinal. Let's find out whether Gankstars or Tempo Storm are going to be moving on to tomorrow's games. Let us know who you want to move on using that hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. But without further ado, let's get on into this game and find out who will be moving forward tomorrow as we head onto the Halcyon Fold.
Ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 between Tempo Storm and Gankstars. This should be a pretty good one, Fuji. We're here with a very fun draft once again. Comfort pick for Hyde on this Kestrel. And you mentioned that Gatsby was doing so well on this Baron. He really showed up in Game 2 where he felt kind of silent in Game 1. I think this is a great pick for him.
Yeah, I mean, why not put him back on the hero he just performed exponentially well with? I like the idea. Tempo holding close to their roots. Hyde on his Kestrel again. And Lost Boy on his play-making Arden from many moons ago that we first recognized his skill sets back in the Autumn Championship of 2015. Let's see if he still has it. I bet he does. I think he does. We'll have to see early in the game. Still a lot of things to be figured out here. Let's talk a little bit about the compositions, though, Humanist. Vox into Baron, right? So there are periods throughout the game where Vox can do some pretty decent work to Baron, and I love Lyra into Baron, right? You get the portal, you get the bulwark down, Baron can't jump out. If Vox gets the right angle, the right dive, he potentially can do quite a bit of work. And then we've got the Samuel to balance out the pressure from Kestrel. So I think this is going to be a lot about execution more than just which comp comes over the top.
This is really going to be about execution. Gankstars in the past, when they were playing with Veins in the last few weeks, Mouse and Verix coming out, little jump jets defensively from Gatsby. But Gankstars, they have made very clean between Iraqi and Xenotech. We know that they can follow arcane passages very quickly. Like, we've seen them execute on that where they just portal in and then boom, they're right into the portal and they're onto a target. So those two can do it. We'll see if they have the synergy here with Mac Daddy B in this game.
Would have been scouted by the Tribush scout. We'll have to see if Xeno is paying attention. He was not.
No. Xenotech getting actually lit up pretty good. Hyde has to wait for his Glimmer shot. Xenotech in the Drifting Dark. This is a big skill shot game going down. Xenotech's gonna win it. First blood. I guess he's just more skilled than Hyde.
Oh, that's not what you wanted. Successful steal onto the Treant, but then you move into melee range. You're fighting on top of the Drifting Dark, and for those of you that don't know, the more minions, the more heroes inside the Drifting Dark, while Samuel is also inside of it, the more regen he gets. So ideally, you want to step out of there as quick as possible. He did not. Pays the price. Lost Boy, you gonna try to steal?
Lost Boy, come on! I heard you were a legend. And that's not an Elder Treant steal. Xenotech, moving with Mac Daddy B, eat a couple Glimmer shots, and they're gonna go ahead and back up. That Flare will let them know there's a scout trap down. And Lost Boy with his contracts, probably just gonna move up into the lane, help Gatsby out here just a little bit. Although Gatsby really hasn't been taking too much damage.
I cannot emphasize how important it was that Xenotech won that trade against Hyde. He does not have his drifting here, though, Humanist. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Hyde.
matter. Hyde, you're in a bad place, my friend. Hyde. My goodness.
The skill shots, you can't miss. If you're going to invade, you have to land everything.
Double kill.
Lost Boy, get wrecked! Xenotech comes down from the south side and just smokes Lost Boy, who was, I think it was porting back. It's like Lost Boy had just like put his iPad down to take a drink from his Coke or something and just got roasted.
He did. He got picked up, and the actual advantage of circling through and ganking lane from the enemy tri-bush is huge. Like, it's hard to expect it. It's hard to defend against it. Hyde potentially getting caught again here. He's going to take the safe route back, though, it looks like, as we're closing in almost on the 4-minute mark. Shop still not quite available. The team's Hyde putting a little pressure on here, Humanist. I like the fact that he's not backing down, even though he has made a few poor choices in the early game. Damage, though. Whew.
Get it! Oh, Hyde, no!
One more.
He's waiting for it. He gets to the Vanguard. He moves forward. Mac Daddy B will go down. And Iraqi Zoro wants to get inside that sigil goodness, but it's a little too dangerous of a situation. I love Hyde's aggression there, and that's, in my opinion, Gankstars getting punished for their inability to pull the trigger. Like when Iraqi and Mac Daddy B dropped down and they saw him next to that mid on Tempo Storm side, they could have just ran at him and killed him. Like they were on target.
They really were. Then we have to question also the fact of like the communication coming from the team. Whenever these rotations are happening, hopefully like the person who's making the mistake, like Hyde goes in and gets killed, he should be telling his team like, careful, careful, careful. Samuel could rotate up from our side. He's going to look for the steal in the jungle. If the jungle's not available, he's going to look for a kill in the lane. So hopefully these guys pick up the communication a little bit there. It looks like just a little bit of synergy, if that's the thing. Lack thereof. But critical hold by Xenotech. You know, we talked earlier in this series, Humanist, about can he be the clutch player Gankstars needs? And he, struggled a bit in game 2, but bringing it back here in game 3 on this Samuel, doing so much work, defending his own jungle, keeping Hyde from scaling out of control. This is the Xenotech we wanted to see. This is the Xenotech we're getting.
I mean, most of these players can play almost every hero at a pretty high level. But those nuances, just knowing exactly how far you can push the limits, really come down to being on a comfort pick. And I think maybe that's what we're seeing a little bit there. It's going to be a bit of damage coming out from Gatsby, but he pulls back to get these last hits onto the lane minions. Gankstars kite back in the Drifting Dark. Realize that they have a bit of an advantage, but the fight's not quite going their way. They hang around here as Glimmer Shots just come out from Hyde. One shot! And as Iraqi Zoro and Xenotech split apart there to go and avoid that one shot connecting. And the point, Gankstars aren't doing too much, but it does kind of force Hyde to hang around here. Drifting Dark, the Malice Inverted coming out. Mac Daddy B throws out the sigil, but neither of his teammates can get inside of it. And Iraqi Zoro really wanted to get that heal up there so he could hang out in the lane. It does leave him a little bit vulnerable here.
I mean, teams at this point kind of just sparring a little bit back and forth. Obviously, Gankstars having the better overall sustain. They're going to be able to last a little longer, play a little more forward as if they balance the damage, but Hyde.
Hyde? Dude, Hyde, how did he actually just get out of that one, dude? They should have killed him. Lost Boy. He'll throw out the fountain and a Vanguard onto Gatsby. Tempo able to get out of that one. They're going to be on the back foot here, and Xenotech just slaps Lost Boy into the dirt with a mouse inverted. Xenotech, raise up! Flex your manly muscles right there, my friend. Oh my goodness, that double kill. That was impressive.
Very impressive stuff. It's going to net them potentially turret here. Gatsby does get a kill, though. Nice. Gatsby holding strong, not feeling like
Go, Gatsby, go! Go, Gaspy, go.
He doesn't have boots. He doesn't have jump jets available. That
has
could have been another
nothing.
kill, but he does save the turret. That's what's important, making sure your first major objective doesn't go down. Once the first turret drops, Humanist, the map opens up. Goldmine becomes the next most important objective. You can get sneaky pathing down to kill that sentry, so the longer you hold your first turret, the better chances you have of winning the game by far. So I like to see Gaspy's confidence not falter even after Xenotech makes the sexy double kill play.
That was so clean.
Clean play. Really, really nice angles on these drifting darks,
Like-
Malice and Verdicts. I like it.
But that was all Xenotech. The 2 kills that he got, I mean, okay, granted his team put out damage on him, but the fight was over for all intents and purposes. That's one of those fights where, like, if you're the laner, all of a sudden, like, your jungler gets a kill and you're like, oh, dude, good job. He gets the double kill and you're like, things are going pretty well. Like, I didn't have anything to do with that.
No, I mean, it's just, thanks guys, can you just clear the wave so I can go pick up a few kills? But we're seeing this pressure, the sustained potential coming out of Gangstar's composition. It's very hard for Tempo Storm to really nail down a kill here.
Gauntlet
comes
from
out.
Lost Boy, jump jets forward. The Oblivion comes out right on top, blocked off by Lost Boy. Good job, Xenotech. He's gonna get healed up, moves back, then right back into Raki Zoro, failing to find a target to get on top of here. And Mac Daddy B just sitting on the back line, holding his fountain. They're continuing to throw out these sigils, heal up his team. Lost Boy taking a lot of damage. Lost Boy's down. He throws out the fountain at the last second. Now this turret probably goes down. I assume Hyde. What are you trying to body block for a turret, Hyde? Shaking my head here. This is not what I wanted to see.
I feel like we've been here before. Gaspy at the turret, his teammates dead. I mean, just like Tempo Storm, you've got to be careful about how long you're trying to hold this fountain. Like, this is now going to give the Gankstars your first turret. This is not what you want. We just applauded at the fact that they were able to control the collateral damage from the last team fight. But Gankstars, once again, they come around. They successfully execute another scrappy skirmish. They're rewarded with the first major objective on the map. 20,000 gold in the bank for this team. Gangstar's looking pretty confident, pretty strong, even though we see Hyde on this CP Kestrel. What he's well known for, he is 0-4-1. This is not the start you want for Tempo if you're trying to secure your spot in day 2 this weekend.
Hyde feels a little sloppy this game. I don't know what the cause of that is. We'll see how it's going to play out. Nice flares coming out to reveal Hyde rotating up from the jungle. Mac Daddy B doing his job incredibly well thus far. Gankstars, they're in a good position if they want to close this series out. I think both of these teams would really like to gain some points and move forward into day 2 here in week 2 of Split 2. 72s. Xenotech hit with that one shot, but the sigil heals him right back up.
I have to think that if the last engage in which Lost Boy dropped the gauntlet, if Gaspy and Hyde were able to focus on the same target, which would have been Samuel near the top, they probably could have turned it around. So the next engage coming from this gauntlet, we'll have to see if they've learned their lesson. Ion Cannon coming down.
This feels like it's going to get pretty crazy. There's your arcade passage in with a brave bulwark. Mac Daddy B gets smoked, but they lose Hyde. Gaspy dropping low. Gaspy tries to reposition, but he goes down. Gankstars made the play that we were talking about earlier of how, I mean, you break it down first. I could probably explain it, but I'm sure you could do it more eloquently.
Well, I mean, this is why you pick Lyra into Baron, right? If you portal in, you drop the bulwark down, Baron cannot escape from any damage while that bulwark is up. It doesn't even matter if you're level 8. It stops you from being able to jump while you're inside of it. It blocks your jump if you jump in. There's so many things that happen with this bulwark that makes Baron easy to lock down. But what can still happen, though, is Hyde still needs to be better positioned. He cannot be collateral damage inside of the Drifting Dark, Malice, and Verdict. The punch coming from Xenotech's damage, because he is so far ahead right now, is just too much for Tempo to handle. They need to be careful. They need to toss the Ion Cannon, right? Like, throw one shot, one kill. Try to steal the gold mine, but don't like, they're disrespecting the engage, right? Like, the ability for Portal to come out is just always a lingering threat, and I don't think Tempo Storm was respecting it enough.
We demand more respect. Oblivion's gonna come out. I think that was the Crucible from Lost Boy.
Oh,
Interesting
Hyde.
positioning here, Hyde. Dude, if the pulse, if the attacks bounce from Iraqi onto Hyde there, he just gets smoked. Like, he is playing with fire. is! Scout Trap's coming down, Flare is coming up. Mac Daddy B is really trying to lock Hyde down. He finds like literally the only place he could have gone without being seen. He's gonna dip out towards the east side here. Maybe, I don't know, is he looking for the backs, but they're not even up.
They are not up. And Crystal Sentry is going to go over to Gankstars, and Gankstars is going to get a full back clear. So not the best trade. Hyde's still hanging out over here waiting, hoping that these jungle minions might respawn.
Hyde's getting trolled out so hard by this spawn. He's like, yo, is this the game bugged right now? Is it broken? No, there you go. There's your spawn. And he'll be able to clean those up and probably get out pretty quickly.
Does finally get it. Not going to take the back tree, assuming most likely somebody from Gankstars might be back there looking for him. But once again, imperfect information means he could have gotten it, did not get it. So a little bit of a return win. GS getting the full clear, and Tempo Storm not.
Arcane
Engage.
Passage and a very aggressive call. Rakizoro is getting lit up, though. They're able to kite back. Gatsby's still alive. This is exactly what Tempo Storm need. Can they turn it around? Gatsby jump jets onto Xeno. Xeno with the Oblivion down, but this is Lost Boy. He's frontlining. He's absorbing the Malice and Verdict. How did that actually connect? Hyde able to
Jump
get
jets.
the kill. Gangstar's are melting apart. Gatsby should be able to find this. Oh, Daddy B! Who is this master? Cole the Meek back in Vainglory. Oh my goodness. Lost Boy Toph just runs in fear. Mac Daddy B, you should have thrown a charm at him at least. That was delicious.
Oh my goodness. The plays into the bush, even though Gatsby had the jump jet up, the ability to kill him, he lost vision, so he has to walk in melee range, has to take the damage from the Imperial Sigil coming from Mac Daddy B. The plays, my friends, Mac showing up. Ready?
Mac
you guys
Daddy
that don't
G.
know. Mac Daddy B is such an OG Vainglory player. He's been around since the earliest days in the North American launch, and it's so great to see him really showing up here on the battlefield up against Tempo Storm, really carrying his team right now into these engages. The shot call is a little bit better coming out of Gankstars this game. I like what I'm seeing.
I like it a lot too. That's interesting to see this playing out here. Gold miner. Stolen off! I saw right at the end, I was like, yo, he's got an opening. Of course, Hyde throws the one shot and takes it away. So Hyde making the plays that he needs to make because they are on the back foot. He has double shattered glass and building into his next item now.
That was a critical steal for Tempo Storm, like taking the gold miner away. Like when you have the lead and you are not securing neutral objectives, this is not good. Gankstars need to clean it up a little bit here as they do look to put some siege on this turret. Another wave crashing in. We'll have to see if they stay or leave Humanists, but with this sustained, Gankstars still feeling really confident.
Gankstars, should you stay or should you go? One shot hits Xenotech. Very nice chunk of damage right there.
Ion Cannon's
gonna come down here. What's the play here, Tempo Storm? I thought for maybe for a second we were gonna see just like a full-on engage and as they chase them down, but nice heals coming out of Mac Daddy B once again, keeps his team ready to go. Mac Daddy B does have no wave gauntlet. It's actually, looking at his items, it's mildly satisfying just to see those 3 items completed, nothing else just hanging around.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree. I mean obviously the amount of potential damage too coming out of Tempo Storm here. These guys aren't shying off, even though that it's been a little bit of a rougher game for them. They don't have their first turret standing, but they're still going for maximum damage potential. They want to kill a target and kill it quick, and I agree this needs to happen, but at the same time, similar issues that were experienced in last game is just, can we get the damage to the target we need it on? One shot, one kill, just going to be healed right back up from Sigil, but wow, the damage.
Oh man, I gotta be honest, Fuji, that felt like a go signal to me. Like, Xenotech just got lit up. Okay, of course it's healed right back up. I want to keep our eyes on this fountain ready for both teams. Mac Daddy B has the null wave. He's gonna portal in. Where's his team though? Lost Boy throws the gauntlet, splits them. Gatsby, he's able to hang out on the backside here. Xenotech, he's forced out of his drifting dark. Mac Daddy B taking a lot of damage. Tempo
One shot.
moving forward. Rakizoro, he's gonna get connected with that ion cannon. Gatsby, he's gonna try and hit them from across the country. Xenotech almost going down. You can see now the range coming out as you start to put a couple points into that ultimate for Baron, and it just gets so much harder to avoid the damage that can come out.
I mean, he's not even level 12 yet, Humanist. There's more range to be had, and I mean, something to be said in Vainglory or any game for that matter. If you can get more range Like, what a beautiful thing. It puts you in a safer position. Your jump jets can be angled much further away. You don't have to worry about getting so close. And once again, like, Xenotech, no armor. So if you get on top of this Samuel, you get a glimmer shot with one jump jet combo, one shot, one kill coming through. They could lose Xenotech instantly before they even have a chance to do anything to save his life.
Yeah.
This Kraken push, it's going to be pretty meaningful.
Another arcane passage in there. Mac Daddy B trying to make it happen. Hyde dropping low, gets the Vanguard and the Fountain, stays alive for a second, but will go down to Raki, dropping low. Gaspy trying to stay his ground. Oblivion will put him to sleep for a full respawn, and now it's just Xenotech and Lost Boytov plus Kraken marching down the lane. Xenotech knows that he needs to try and find his kill. He should be able to do so. Drifting Dark Malice. Verdict doesn't connect. Gauntlet stuns him up. Lost Boy, he's done it. Lost Boy, elusive, making the plays.
Everyone will say today that Lost Boy made the plays for the escape, but he did have Crucible available for the team fights. He could have used it for one of his teammates, had to save it for himself to stay alive. Gauntlet not up, so you got to question why Tempo Storm was so far forward. So, Xenotech. I love Kestrel being back, kind of in this CP role in the meta again after having a bit of time of absence, just simply because the one shot, the continual spam of this ability going out is just so entertaining to see. It's just everyone's always kind of on a knife's edge. Like, if you get hit by it, that could mean go, right? If you get hit by it, you don't get killed. Sigil drops. Now the Sigil's on cooldown. That could also mean go. Like, you never know when Tempo's really going to pull the trigger, and Kestrel really setting them up for a lot of this success.
Yeah, doing a great job thus far. I mean, it also means that technically you can fight 2 versus 3 if one of those connects and you're ready to just jump jet and take someone out. A lot of vision coming out for Mac Daddy B here. He's got Contraption plus, in one slot he's got Scout Traps plus Flares in the other. He's just going to make sure they are not caught by surprise. You mentioned this earlier, so important. You're playing against the CP Kestrel that you cannot be caught by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that because the Contraption's online and the Vision's getting set down closer to their base, closer to the lane, we're seeing them not being able to have any sneaky, like, setups from behind from Hyde, which Hyde typically is not normally the Rambo-style Kestrel player who likes to go behind and set up traps for a pick, but he'll certainly do it if he can. He's going to have a hard time, though. Gankstars forcing them to engage.
Another engage right onto the Baron. Can he get back? Gaspy over the wall. Araki getting blown up the fountain keeps him alive. Araki's still alive. He's sustaining, and Xenotech dropped around the bottom side and found the kill onto Gaspy. What a play by Gankstars. This is Lost Boy trying to stay alive but can't handle the damage. And Crystal Sentry, for some reason, want Xenotech instead of the other guys. Oh man, Hyde last man standing for Tempo Storm. What a great fight for Gankstars.
Gaspy had such an amazing jump jet over the middle wall there, but even more amazing on that reposition was Xenotech seeing the jump jet happen on Samuel, wrapping around with his Drifting Dark on the other side of the wall to push Baron out. Very, very well played by Xenotech there. A heads-up play, in fact, to make sure his drifting was available for that angle of attack. He could have lost it early, could have used it at the wrong time. So impressive work coming out of Gankstars, really stepping it up here in Game 3. Humanist not wanting to go down. Oh, hi.
They found him. Arcane Passage back. Nobody else wants to take it. One shot looking to find a target. And honestly, he could have jump jetted forward and maybe looked to follow up on that. Hyde, it seemed like Hyde maybe a little sloppy in what just happened, but ultimately a very positive outcome for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, I mean, they stopped the Kraken. I actually feel like Gankstars could have just zoned Hyde out with Lyra and finished the Kraken there, but the all-in engage to try to kill him drops Kraken. Kraken resets, and now the map has to reset. So after that successful team fight, Gankstars doesn't get anything out of it. So a little bit sloppy play on their part. Once again, decision-making being somewhat called into question. We see the mechanics, right? We see the rotation, the skills coming out of Araki, Zoro, and Xenotech. Mac Daddy really showing up here. But once you get the ace, once you get the kills, once you get anything, you have to figure out where to go next. And if you don't pull the trigger quick enough, you're just going to be stuck once again in a little bit of a stalemate.
Let's see if this is going to stall out here, or if it's going to be an exciting team fight. Lost Boy trying to clear vision. Could potentially be caught out. One shot does not connect. Hyde just throws it. This is the back-to-back. He's not connecting on these one-shots, and it feels like kind of the awkward angle that Gankstars are forcing out, where he's having a hard time predicting exactly how and where they're going to move.
Yeah, it is very true. I mean, we have a lot of engaged tools from both teams. I'm curious to see Gauntlet have a little more effective use in the next team fight, though, because I feel like in a slightly underwhelming ability, but we might be seeing it go down right now, Humanist.
Yo, Gankstars have this fight. Ion Cannon comes down. Can Gaspy stand his ground and actually trade the damage out? Yes, he can. Lost Boy, he is the front line that his team deserves. Lost Boy making it happen. He just drops Gauntlet. He's like, if you really want to fight on the Crystal Century, that's fine with me. Hyde's going to chase down Xenotech, and this should hurt pretty bad if you are a ghoul in the graveyard. I mean, I guess some sort of 0.5% chance that Xenotech turns that around, but... Tempo Storm was the ace when they need it. Pretty clean fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a ghoul in the graveyard, I guess now you truly are in the graveyard. But it is sad days for Xenotech fans as he does try his best in that team fight. But Humanist, I pleaded, Lost Boy, show me a Gauntlet to change the course of the team fight. That was the Gauntlet they needed, getting multiple stuns on either side, allowing a Gaspy to reposition with jump jets to the southern portion of the Gauntlet. That way he didn't have to worry about getting jumped on again. They were not able to move around it. But perhaps the biggest question is, Gankstars, why force the team fight in a choke point around the Sentry when Samuel's damage cannot get cleanly to the target that you want it to? So wherever a team is making a slight error in judgment, the other team is taking advantage of it, and this is what you expect at this level of play. Another Kraken push, Humanists. Let's see what they can do with it.
Well, let's see what they can do indeed. Another one-shot flies out of Hyde. About every 25 seconds, the one-shot, one kill is going to be coming out. Ion Cannon as well. And just as much harass potential without putting himself in danger. But you say without putting himself in danger, arcing passage back the other way. Gaspy, that's not a very defensive jump jets. Gauntlet's down. Is that enough? Iraki's reflex moves right through. He's able to take down Gaspy. And now Hyde has to kite backwards. And Lost Boy Top doesn't want to move within range of Hyde. I mean, there's so much vision coming out of Mac Daddy B that it's actually very hard for Hyde to kite back and get a good active camo down.
Tempo Storm, you've got to expect this Lyra engage. I mean, this is their engage. This is what they do. They're going to portal. They're going to drop the bulwark. They're going to chase you down. Perhaps even worse is because Arden was inside of the bulwark, he was not able to use Gauntlet early. So there was not the same type of playmaking capability. Bit of a messy Kraken push, though. I definitely think Tempo could have done much more with that, but just seemingly just unprepared for that engage, and I don't know why. Like, I mean, there was a trend.
You go back to Split 1, there was a large trend. I mean, I think that you go back to spring season. This happened for many weeks in a row, and Sweet J was talking about it on the analyst desk, like every time it happened. Like, it was Lyra's engaging into Kestrels with Arcane Passage and just getting destroyed because active camos would be down. And they just get blown up. But that is not happening this game at all. Like, I don't know if it's Mac Daddy B making sure that he controls with vision that he's going to Arcane Passage to a place where they're not in active camo, or Hyde maybe not predicting the engage coming out. But that trend is not being highlighted here.
It's true. There's also something to consider, that because this is a CP Kestrel, unless she preemptively has the trap down, when they look for the engage, unlike a weapon Kestrel who can quickly drop the camo, fire a couple of glimmer shots, get the reset for future camos, you get a kind of one shot at this, right? So CP Kestrel doesn't have the same type of flexibility for her ability to escape.
But I can predict right now, Gankstars are going to look to portal in on top of Gaspy. That's what they've done every time. It feels like they could. It could be predicted at this point. And even though you do mention it's one shot, I agree with you. It's not quite the same deal.
Yeah, I mean, this room for error, right? There's human error in those extensions. If they get the prediction right, they will profit huge. But right now, like you're saying, we're not seeing the prediction quite come through. I feel like now that Hyde has a battery and Halcyon chargers, he should have enough energy to set up enough traps around Baron's positioning so that they can keep these engages from being too detrimental for them. It's a little risky earlier game once again because you just don't quite have the energy, but now they certainly do, and they have to expect it. With Kraken getting hit on, we know Gankstars is going to look for a turnaround. They're not going to 50-50 this Kraken.
Gankstars flirting with Kraken. They drop the flirt and move over to Tempo Storm. Hyde moving backwards. Arakizora wants him though. Hyde, can he turn around? He's gonna go down. Arakizora finds the damage. It's Hyde traded for Xenotech. Gaspy, he jump jet, stands his ground. Arakizora tries to move back in with the Sonic Zoom. They take Mac Daddy B down in a triple kill for Gaspy. Sir Greatness. Gaspy, we bow down to you in your greatness and your play of Baron here on this humble day. 14-18 Tempo Storm, making it happen, Captain.
We saw it. The trap was down when the engage came through. Successful stun up on Vox on the carry. Not enough damage coming through quickly. Able to maneuver around. Kestrel might have been the target, but Gaspy comes in clutch, cleans up the entire team fight, and takes the victory.
That did not feel like a 27-minute game to me. It felt a lot shorter.
It did, but it wasn't. A long road to victory for both of these teams. Honestly, each game just tooth and nail.
Oh, man, it's a really good matchup. Of course, Gankstars coming out on Tempo Storm in the majority of their games, but Mac Daddy B was a little bit of a wild card, but didn't know how things were going to play out. It didn't go their way. Tempo Storm, really good stuff. I'm impressed. Let's see what our analysts have to say as we throw it back over to our desk.